Hello everybody and welcome to our new episode based on Overview textbook series grade 12. Today I'll be dealing with Module 4, Unit 11, Vocabulary. I'm going to deal with some lexical items that you have already seen with your teachers in class, along with our unit's theme, which is about space exploration. If you are interested in this sub-skill along with the topic, keep watching our channel. I'll be more than happy to meet you after the break. See you then. Dear students, welcome back to our virtual infinite educational program. I have already said that today I'm going to deal with vocabulary. So I'm going to present some of the lexical items that you have seen in class, taking into consideration your learning style, which is mostly audiovisual, along with your current abilities by providing you with some examples to illustrate the overall meaning of every single item in the sentences. Now let's have a look at the screen here. The title of our unit is The Final Frontier, which is mostly about space exploration. Let's start by introducing the first word. The first word is a verb, which is orbit. So what's the meaning of orbit? Orbit is to fly or move around in a circle. Let's illustrate the vocabulary item in a very simple sentence. Some satellites orbit the planet Earth to help meteorologists predict weather and track hurricanes. The following word, or the phrasal verb, is revolve around. So revolve around means to go around, turn around, or to rotate or spin. For example, as you can see here, the planet Earth revolves around its axis once every 24 hours. Let's move now to the countable noun concept, illustrating the word concept. For example, some people find the concept of space travel endlessly fascinating. Let's move to the following word, which is dual. It's an adjective, which means consisting of two parts, elements or aspects. For example, this machine has dual roles. It prints and photocopies documents. So it does two things at the same time. It prints and it photocopies. Now, the following word is mission. Mission is a countable noun, which means an expedition into space. For example, the first manned space mission to the moon was a giant leap for mankind, which is a very good achievement. The following word is economical. It's an adjective, which means giving good value or service in relation to the amount of money, time, or effort spent. Let's give an example. LED light bulbs are more economical and durable than the traditional ones. Then we have the word obscure, which means to prevent something from being seen or heard clearly. So it's a verb. Let's illustrate this verb in a very simple example. Have a look. The sun is going to be completely obscured, which means hidden. The following word is conducive. Conducive is an adjective, which means making a certain situation or outcome likely or possible. For example, we can say that this classroom atmosphere is not conducive to the learning process. On the other hand, this one is completely suitable. Now let's move to the following word, scrutinize. Scrutinize is a verb, which means to examine something or something very carefully. So to examine someone or something very carefully. For example, the inspector is scrutinizing the footprints to decide on the criminal identity. Let's move to the adjective durable. So durable means able to withstand wear, pressure, or damage, or hard wearing. For example, I always buy leather school bags because they are made up of a durable material. The following word is a noun, which is universe. So what's the meaning of universe? It means the earth, planets, and stars. For example, we all take it for granted that Allah is the creator of the universe, as Muslims, of course. The following word is an adjective, which is superb. Superb means impressively splendid, which means extremely good. For example, the food and the service were superb. The food and the service were superb. Let's move now to the verb wane, which means to decrease in vigor, power, or extent, to become weaker. For example, the enthusiasm for donation was waning, which was decreasing. The following word is an adjective. It is abnormal. So abnormal is deviating from what is normal or usual, typically in a way that is undesirable or worrying. For example, it's abnormal to produce square apples. Now we are familiar with round apples. Now if we find square apples, we get astonished. Why? Because it's something unusual, something abnormal. The following word is an uncountable noun, habitation. Habitation means the state or process of living in a particular place. Let's take an example. For example, the high temperature surface and the heavy atmosphere of Venus make it not conducive to human habitation, which is not suitable for human habitation. Let's move now to the countable noun, frontier. It means the extreme limit of understanding or achievement in a particular area. For example, man has been pushing the frontier of knowledge in all fields for the advancement of humanity. The following word is an adjective. It is abhorrent. Abhorrent means inspiring disgust and loathing or repugnance. For example, space travel is thought to be an abhorrent way of wasting money, which is something not acceptable. The following word is an adjective. It means intrepid. Intrepid is an adjective which means fearless or adventurous. For example, I think that he is intrepid to do a parachute jump. Now let's move to the practical part of our lesson, which is multiple choice question. I'm going to illustrate all the presented vocabulary items in 4 different sentences. Let's have a look at practice 1. Choose the correct answer from A, B, C, and D. Here we have a stem with 4 different multiple choices. You are going to choose only one to fill in the gap. If teachers don't use appropriate teaching aids, their learners' motivation may, and we need a word here, rapidly. Of course, here we have to concentrate on the stem to find out what cues or what clues that may help us. For example, here we are talking about the motivation of the learners, okay? And here we need a verb, which must be intransitive verb because we don't have an object. So our choice is wane. So the sentence is, if teachers don't use appropriate teaching aids, their learners' motivation may wane rapidly. The second sentence, this hot weather is not, and we need the verb here, we need the word, too hard work. We need an air conditioner. Again, we have to look for clues. For example, we are speaking about hot weather, okay? So the answer is conducive. This hot weather is not conducive. It's not appropriate to work in a hard way or to work in a very convenient way. The third sentence, Apollo 17 was the final, and we need a word here, of the Apollo lunar landing program. Again, we have to look for clues. We speak about Apollo 17 was the final mission, of course. The last sentence in the first practice, space technology has helped to make aircrafts lighter, faster, and more. Here we need, of course, to have a look at the word aircrafts, which are lighter, so we have a comparative here, which are faster, and here we have the word and, followed by more, which needs a long adjective. In this case, it's economical. Now let's move now to the second number or the second vocabulary items that will be used in gap-filling exercise. The first word is natural satellite. It's a countable noun, which means a naturally occurring object that orbits a planet, for example, the moon. So the moon is a natural satellite. For example, the solar system's planets are orbited by 180 natural satellites. The following word is GPS. GPS is a noun, which means global positioning system. It's defined as an accurate worldwide navigation and surveying facility based on the reception of signals from an array or orbiting satellites. For example, CIGIC or SIGIC application uses GPS to show you the exact destination while driving. The following word is roughly. Roughly is an adverb, which means in a manner lacking refinement and precision. Now let's have an example illustrating the word roughly. Have a look here. Mars takes roughly 2 Earth years to orbit the Sun. The following word is revere. Revere is a verb, which means to feel deep respect or admiration for something. For example, Zaid Arifai is revered as a national hero as he was the first Arab man to climb the tallest mountain on every continent. The following word is data. Data is a countable noun, which is a plural here. For example, facts and statistics collected together for reference or analysis. For example, astronauts rely on wireless communication to assess data collected by spaceships from Earth. The following word is perceivable. Perceivable is an adjective, which means could be noticed. That means it's clear to the eye or to the person. For example, abnormalities in the cells can be perceivable quite clearly under a microscope. The following word or expression is take for granted. Take for granted means fail to appreciate someone or something that is very familiar or obvious. For example, many of the tools that we take for granted now were developed to resist the extreme conditions of space. Now, most of these tools were used by astronauts while in space. Now they are used by us on a daily basis. Let's move now to some sentences that illustrate what we have already presented. It's a gap-filling task and practice too. Fill in the spaces with suitable words from the list. Of course, you are going to be provided with 5 words or expressions, before dealing with them, you have to decide on their part of speech in order to help yourselves while answering the questions. For example, perceivable is an adjective, revere is a verb, roughly is an adverb, take for granted is an expression, and data is a noun. Let's take the first example. The scientific center of Kuwait, which houses the largest aquarium in the Middle East, holds, and here we need a word, 100 different species of animals. Okay? Now we have to look, again, we have to look for clues in this sentence. So we need here a word. Holds is extremely important. Why? Because it is the main verb of the sentence. Okay? Now, what do you need here in this gap? You need roughly. Why? Because without this adverb, the sentence remains correct. Then we move to the second sentence after getting rid or crossing out the word that we have already used. Bump application is used to browse, search for, share, and send, and here we need a word, from one device to another just by hitting the two devices against each other. It's a new application used in touch technology phones. For example, here we have to look for bump application, which is used, of course, here we need the word data. So bump application is used to do what? To browse, to search for, to share, and to send what? To send something which is an object, so it's data. We cross the word and we move. Sentence number 3. Venus is given the epithet, the morning star, because it is, we need a word, from the Earth 3 hours before sunrise and 3 hours after sunset. Okay? This is a very important piece of information. Okay? It is a kind of dependent clause added to the main clause of the sentence. So here, what do you need in this space? After it is, we need an adjective to have a complete correct sentence. We cross the word and we move. I really, the courage and appreciate the achievements of Z Arifai. The word and here is extremely important. Why? Because it is followed by a verb, so it must be preceded by another verb. I really revere the courage and appreciate the achievements of Z Arifai. Now let's move to the third part, which is presenting other pieces, other vocabulary items to be used in another task. The first word is dispatch. Dispatch is a verb, which means to send off to a destination or for a purpose. For example, the TV channel will dispatch a reporter to cover the Hala February festivities. The following word is an adjective. It consists of two words, on board. On board means available or situated on a ship, aircraft, or other vehicle or vehicles. For example, passengers on board are kindly requested to remain seated until the aircraft comes to a complete stop. So people who are on board. The following word is alert. Alert is a verb, which means to warn someone of a danger, threat, or a problem, typically with the intention of having it avoided or dealt with. For example, the government is carrying out campaigns to alert the public to the dangers of using mobile phones while driving their cars. The following word is an adverb, approximately. Approximately means roughly or almost. Let's illustrate the word in a sentence. Diabetes affects approximately 10% of the adult population. This is the symbol of approximately in mathematics. The following word is opportunity, which is a countable noun. It means a set of circumstances that makes it possible to do something. For example, I should have gone abroad when I was young. It was a missed opportunity. Let's now have an exercise about these presented words. So it's a word definition in which you are going to be given a sentence with an underlined word, and you have to choose the appropriate or the convenient definition for the word. Practice 3, choose the correct definition of each underlined word in each sentence. For example, now as you can see here, the shipping company can dispatch your goods within a week. This is a verb, and you notice all the definitions belong to the same part of speech. That means they define verbs. The first one is to feel deep respect or admiration for something, to send off to a destination or for a purpose. Definition C, to decrease in vigor, power, or extent, to become weaker. The last one, to change something radically or fundamentally. So what do you think? Dispatch. It means, of course, to send off to a destination or for a purpose. The following sentence, there's a sleeping baby on board. Can you keep quiet, please? So, on board means fearless, adventurous, or able to perceive or feel things, making a certain situation or outcome likely or possible, available or situated on a ship, aircraft, or other vehicle. Now, as we have already presented the word seconds ago, on board means choice D. Let's move to the following sentence. Traveling to England is a good opportunity to maximize your exposure to English language. Now, here we are after the word opportunity, which is a noun. Is it a set of circumstances that makes it possible to do something, or items used in a space that improve our lives on earth? A soft shoe, suitable for sports or casual wear, the state or process of living in a particular place. That's good, very good. It's a set of circumstances that makes it possible to do something. The last sentence is, the flight from Kuwait to London takes approximately 6 hours. Approximately means, have a look at the choices, A, B, C, or D. Think about it. Approximately means choice C, roughly or almost. Now let's move now to the last part of this presentation. Here we have the word execute, which is a verb, to carry out an order or plan. Astronomical, it's an adjective, which means of or relating to the branch of science that deals with celestial objects, space, and the physical universe as a whole. The following word is trainers, which is a countable noun. It means a soft shoe suitable for sports or casual wear. Then we have the word emission, which is a noun. It means the production and discharge of something, especially gas or radiation. Then we have the word revolutionize. It's a verb, which means to change something radically or fundamentally. The following word is spin-off, which is countable noun. It means items used in space that improve our lives on Earth. Now, as you have noticed here, I haven't provided you with sentences, which is made intentionally. Why? Because it's your role now to make sentences using the following 3 words. I have chosen these words. The first one is a noun, the second is a verb, and the last one is an adjective. Now, you have here to construct sentences, which is our last practice exercise. Use the following words to make correct sentences. So the words are trainers, execute, astronomical. Let's start by the first one. In any English language, you have to think of the most compelling elements in making the sentence correct and understandable by people. So we have to guarantee that the sentence contains subject, verb, object, or a complement. For example, if we want to use the word trainers in a sentence, I can say, I bought trainers, which is completely correct sentence. If you make a sentence like this, you will get full mark. Some students, mainly motivated students, who want to show that they are good at English language, add some other elements in the sentence to make eat reacher, for example. They may add, for example, running, which is a present participle, okay, to modify the word trainers. It's an adjective here. So the sentence becomes, I bought running trainers. Or some others may use this adverb of time, which is yesterday, followed by this introductory comma, which is extremely important. Why? Because it paves the way for the main part of the sentence, which is the independent clause. So the sentence becomes, yesterday I bought running trainers, which is completely correct. Some others may add for the final race, which is prepositional phrase. So the sentence is, yesterday I bought running trainers for the final race, which is an extremely good sentence. Let's move now to the word execute, whose part of speech is a verb. For example, we have to guarantee three main parts, like I have already said: subject, verb, complement. You may have a sentence like this: I execute my plans. Some others may say, I always execute my plans. Still others may say, I always execute all my plans, to show that he is a good person. The first sentence, the second sentence, and the third sentence are correct, and they deserve full mark. Some others, some extremely motivated students may say, thoroughly, for example. They add another adverb. Now let's move to the last word here, astronomical, whose part of speech is an adjective. You may think of a sentence like this: the eclipse is an astronomical phenomenon. You may say, the lunar eclipse is an astronomical phenomenon that occurs occasionally. Okay? Now you have noticed that you can add some other elements which may enrich our sentence. Now at this point, our lesson is over. Let me remind you of what we have already seen. I have presented some lexical items. Then I illustrated them with some sentences to make them more or clearer for you. I hope that you have enjoyed my lesson. I wish you good luck in your future endeavors, and thank you for watching.